All right. You guys ready to go?
I'm ready.
We're back with the Zach Nichols podcast.
We are back. We are back.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'll just go fuck myself.
You know, please do. We have our first ever return guest. He's family at this point. Paulie Calafiore in the motherfucking house.
Oh, we're here, baby.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah.
First return guest, dude.
Yeah, first return guest. Well, actually, yeah.
On the couch for the podcast?
Yeah, on the couch. For
the first return guest. Absolutely.
We got to do a quick plug.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we at Zach Nichols Podcast have partnered with Getaway Golf Company. They're not just a golf apparel company. They do all sorts of apparel. If you're interested in checking out what they have, I'll be the first to admit this is one of the most comfortable polos I've ever worn. It suits my personality. It suits my lifestyle. I'm a dad. I look like one. I act like one now.
That's right.
For the most part,
That's
until
right.
I get headphones on. I love them. It's a Brighton buddy of ours, a homegrown company, and it's the first of it's the start of a great relationship. So go check them out if you are so
Inclined?
If you're so inclined to get something, use our discount code. It's Zach Nichols Podcast, and you will get a percentage off. If you do, send us a picture, and there may be bonus surprises for people who want to help out Getaway Golf. So check them out and get used to hearing a lot about them, because that's basically all I'm going to be wearing from here on out.
Oh, yeah. Well, big shout out to Getaway Golf. We're super excited to both be brand ambassadors and to continue to tell our story and work with a Brighton, Michigan company. And let's grow this thing, man. We're going to do a lot of content with them, so watch out. Go use that promo code, Zach Nichols Podcast. And we'll get started. First official sponsor of the Zach Nichols Podcast.
Homegrown, baby.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. We take care of our own.
It's a Brighton brotherhood that we like to roll with.
Yep, we take care of our own, which is why. Go ahead.
It's like the mafia.
Yeah, well,
It's a Michigan thing.
Yeah, 810 if you don't know.
Yeah.
But we stick together, which is why we brought the dog back. Congratulations on, in my opinion, I know short, but a great season 40. In my opinion, I know you're going to have a few things to say about his performance.
I'm upset because
I knew you would be upset. I knew you would.
we get this, like, we got what? How many seasons straight did you do? 4?
I did three in a row.
Just absolutely inseminated our screen for 3 seasons in a row. Then you get the boot, which I'm currently experiencing myself.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get to see you forever, which I think was a travesty to not only viewers, but to the franchise. And then we get you back on CBS, where you originally started. We don't like them really because they're a softer version of us. Now we get you back on the flagship. You get in there. You can tell you're itching to just destroy people. In my opinion, you're in the wrong era. They put you in pink because that's when you started, but I truly think that you said it yourself. You said it yourself. You're not an era 4 personality.
I'm definitely not an era 4 personality at all. I think they put us in pink because I came in with the blonde hair, and they're really running with the Ken thing from the Barbie movie.
Oh, yeah,
you know, I had the Mojo Dojo.
Yeah.
So you think they only put era 4 in pink because you came in with blonde hair?
100%. They were like, Paulie, what color's your hair going to be this season? I was like, blonde. And they were like, you'll be pink.
Probably.
Did you show them that? You got to tell us about the interview top, man. What was the inspiration behind the interview top, bro? The shoulder exposed. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, dude, I was trying to show a little bit of shoulder.
Yeah, bro. A little
You know, I
shoulder
was-
action.
A little deep cut to the chest.
It's a good looking shoulder. By
You
the
know,
way,
with the sleeves on the arms.
yeah, I gotta say real quick, you're in amazing shape, my brother. Look at you,
dude.
man.
I've been losing some weight and bulking. You know, I mean, if I ever have to go into a hall brawl again,
You're cut up. You're cut up right now.
Well, I got to tell you this. Hall brawl.
can I just say that I knew you were going to be disappointed in me this season because we had a long talk where you were like, Paulie, just go in level-headed, cage the animal, let them come out a little later. But you could get a little bit further with your politics because you're not bad at politics. And as soon as I didn't, I was like, Zach's going to be so disappointed.
Here's the thing. And we saw, this is like something we saw with Tony too. When you do 3-4 seasons in a row, you were able to form relationships with people that you beefed with at first. For example, me, right? Now, when you get taken out of the mix, those relationships don't grow and blossom. And then when you come back, it's almost like everyone else has relationships that have been coming back. It's like you would have been, if you would have kept coming back, you and Tori would have had a better relationship than Tori and Josh. You and Theo probably would have been able to work something out where, so you had no one. You were nobody's number one except for Kara, and that really didn't do you much good because you weren't in the same era and you didn't get farther enough in the show for it to help you. So that's what Tony, I feel like, caught himself in. You had 0 number ones, especially number one on your own team. Everyone was buddied up, right? The other, Theo hated you or had beef against you. So you really had an uphill battle from the start. And that's why when a lot of times when Pierre's like, oh, you got to get back out there, it's going to be great. It's like, it's not. I have to literally fight for everything you get because you have 0 number ones.
I mean, look, let's just be honest, though. Like, he got an unlucky vote. I mean, we know that you went in and knew that, Theo wanted you, and you had that look in your eye where I believed in you for sure. But you didn't come last in that fucking competition. It was unlucky matchup. But,
It was an unlucky matchup. And then it was, you picked the worst card possible for you. It's the worst. That's the most weight-intensive, dominant thing. However, what I will say was, Hall Brawl, I learned this the hard way, is not necessarily a headbanger if you don't want it to be. It can be a chess match, and that's what happened to me. But that being said, 100 pounds, that's a tough detriment to go against in that.
It's tough, and I like the way that you finessed your Hall Brawl in a chess match. And trust me, that thought crossed my mind, but I was like sitting here being like, man, this guy's 6'6". Can I jump him?
I didn't think you should have jumped him. I thought you should have just dove to the side, tried to get as low as possible, got under him, then grabbed the leg, and then beat him with speed. Because the one thing I do know about you is from 0 to 20 yards, I don't think there's anyone in that house that'll beat you in that. I'm just being honest.
I was a little hesitant about the only other strategy that I thought in my head, which in hindsight I probably should have did, was kind of let him hit me, absorb the blow, almost like a wrestling sprawl. So kind of like as the blow came into me, like sprawl my legs back and kind of absorb it through. Mm-hmm. And then that way I'm in a position where my forearms are on his shoulders. And when he goes to push himself back up, that's when I drive my legs and try and push him back. The diving strategy, I was a little nervous because, looking at the hall, and then when you're actually lined up in the hall, you don't realize how narrow it is.
It's narrow as shit.
It's very narrow.
Basically my shoulders. My shoulder width.
100%. And put shoulder pads on you there. I was like, if I dive and he comes any wrong way, my neck's broken.
For sure.
And maybe with somebody lighter weight, I wouldn't have that same hesitance. Mm-hmm. But him coming in his size, I was like, I don't want to break my neck. I don't want to break anything. No. So I guess I'll just get a couple concussions and call it a day.
Yeah, that was for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't like his tweet listing off all the people that he thinks could beat him in that, because I'll tell you what, I might have 2 hits left on people in my life, and when that was happen, I'm gonna blow. Everything's gonna explode in me, but everything's gonna explode in them. And if I ever get the chance, I'll try to get some redemption for you, homeboy.
No, I appreciate that, man. I mean, I want redemption on him as well. Maybe not in a hall brawl, but I mean, I will bulk myself up. For sure. Like, what people don't understand is, I think even the hard part about it though was, if you get balls in, the new balls in is almost worse than hall brawl, because it's not about getting it in; it's just getting in that ring. And he's 6'6". He's just gonna go straight head and try to just barrel his way in. But pull Russell or the take shelter were the ones that you had to want those. Well, and I also wanted the balls in because I'm good with angles. I'm quick. I'm agile,
and you can wrestle.
And I can wrestle. So I think in a balls in, he would have had to start it at a more standing up position, which would have given me leverage for a tackle. Mm-hmm. Whereas hall brawl, he was down low.
There's nowhere to go.
Exploded low. And as I watched it back, I'm like, man, he literally threw his whole body into that first round. Like, he almost dropped to his knees.
Yeah, he wasn't running his feet. He was just extending.
Yeah, and
he didn't have to.
Yeah, and the second round, kind of same thing, but he actually was smart enough to grab my foot, trip me up after that.
He's not a bad athlete either.
No, he's not a bad athlete. I didn't even know until afterwards. He was like, yeah, by the way, I also played rugby. And I was like,
yeah, but
I was like, yeah,
okay.
I was like, yeah,
what,
but
in 8th grade?
Yeah, exactly.
I played baseball, travel baseball in 9th grade.
Yeah, I was a little shocked when all of a sudden, he's coming out, calling people out in a hall brawl situation who likely, regardless of his size now, are going to hit him. And even if I went against him again in a hall brawl, my strategy would be completely different, because I was playing him like War of the Worlds 1 Theo, where he came in straight up, standing straight up, and had a really hard time in that hall brawl.
Yeah, what did Rogan call him? A lanky string of piss?
Yeah, lanky string of piss.
Yep.
And you know, in your head, you don't really know what 265 feels like until you feel what 265
Oh,
feels
I know
like.
what 265
With
feels
Olympic
like.
level speed on top of it.
With Olympic level speed.
Let's be, you know, it's a train.
Yeah, and you know, he's a tall dude, so the physics of like trying to factor in where to hit him, you know, where to not catch a knee to the face or an orbital bone and
Listen,
get that.
you weren't
pocket.
winning that without losing something, whether it was brain cells, a bone, a ligament, a tooth or two, like something like that was a listen,
Open face helmet.
The only way you can really describe that is if like you know, it's like a tight end against a cornerback one-on-one in a tunnel of love or an Oklahoma drill, and that never happens. Like, when does the coach say, "Hey, let me get my 165-pound cornerback and let him go against Gronkowski"?
Yeah.
Belichick never did that.
Yeah, no, Mike Tyson ain't fighting Floyd Mayweather.
I mean,
You
and
know what I'm
we've seen what
saying?
happens when Derrick Henry gets that cornerback in the open field.
Right.
I mean,
It's exactly what it was.
And for sure. And I always, whenever I talk about this, I have to remind people that Theo's stats, speed, his combine numbers much more resemble an NFL player than a normal person. So, you know, to me, I thought this was like one of those rare things where you lose, but you look great, in my opinion, as a viewer. So, round of applause, tough. And you didn't fucking back down either. You weren't
Yeah,
stunned.
that's what I was gonna say. Was like,
I don't know if I looked great, but the not backing down thing.
like
Some street
what
cred.
I don't think a lot of people give you credit for is how absolutely insane you actually are. I know it because like I said, I've said this multiple times, but when we were in Thailand in that final, like I literally was like, bro, we're gonna have a dead castmate, and you were again vomiting your guts out all night long, and then ended up somehow getting a second wind and solved that puzzle. What, second or third? I think it was Ninja, you, Kara, then me, or you and Kara might have been interchangeable, and then, you know, just we got through the whole rest of the day, like, you know, unfazed.
And arguably, I think if our ankles weren't chained, we win that. I think we make a comeback because our team was kind of getting a second wind.
Oh no, we
that
made
point.
up a lot of time on them. Like we got like I think they had a 2-minute head start on us on the puzzle, so that means we made up 3 minutes in a 4-mile run, which is impressive in my opinion.
Barely.
So you're insane. You took that one to the chin, like literally, like head on, and then continued to go. There's a lot of people that wouldn't have even got out there for round 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Johnny
just
said it himself. He would not have done it.
Yeah.
He would have bowed out.
I think a lot of people up on the stage wouldn't have done it. I think even, you know, CT, you know, at the size he was, it would have been good, but I don't think he wants to even do those.
Nobody
Nobody wants
over 35 wants to do call, bro.
Yeah.
It's a young man sport.
I'm gonna just chalk it up to my bananas backpack moment. I'm gonna just take it as something that no matter what I do from here on out on the challenge, that's always going to be thrown in my face.
We all have that moment,
and it's fine.
I died on a mountain and cried. Like, I don't care. Like, it hurt. I was cramping, but I finished that. But when people say you died in the final, I'm like, wait a second, I didn't. I was cramping, but I still climbed my ass up a mountain.
Absolutely.
Got through it and got to the top of a volcano the next day. So was I out of shape? 100%. But did I die? No, I didn't get carted off. I didn't get put on a stretcher. And neither did you in either of those situations. So anyone that says that is just a TV or a computer screen hero. They don't imagine them people. Anyone that talks shit online about that, like, what would happen to them against Theo?
Oh man, I mean, I don't think people give us enough credit for the mental fortitude that it takes to be there. And you know, TJ's main thing is he hates quitters, and you know, you're never gonna not quit. Now, I watched you and I go through a final where, I mean, I don't know how many times you were asked to quit, but when I kind of got left behind and I'm seeing stars and I don't even know where I am.
Your face was green.
They were, you know, along the way, they were asking me to quit the whole time. And I was sitting there saying no. But then I would ask for water.
And they would say no.
And they would say, we'll give you water as long as you quit.
That's what they said to me on free agents. I was like, dude, I need something. They're like, okay, you can have a banana, you can have water, you can have Gatorade, but you got to quit.
Yeah, and
like,
it's just, I don't think people realize that those words to any challenger, that where the show means something, right? Because we've had people quit, and I judge them for sure in certain scenarios, but you do not want to be standing in front of TJ and him being like, so you're quitting? And you'd be like, yeah, Teach, I'm quitting. And he goes, well, all right.
That concludes the free preview of the Zach Nichols podcast.
So go to Patreon and subscribe to see the rest of the shit that we talk.
Go do it now.